Hey there, this is Adam White, founder of Adam White Speaks and author of A Leader Others Will Follow, The Power of Influence. And today I'm going to talk to you about how to turn defeat into motivation. You know, sometimes in life things don't work out the way that we plan. Sometimes we feel defeated, we feel discouraged. And we need to know how to turn that defeat into motivation. How do we take something that has happened in our life or something that we attempted to do, and it causes us to feel defeated when it doesn't work out? Sometimes we want to just quit. We want to throw in the towel. We want to say, you know what, I'm not going to even try anymore because I feel defeated. It's important that our emotions, how we feel, it affects what we actually want to be able to do, and if we even want to try again. So today I'm going to give you a couple tips on how to turn defeat into motivation. So let's get started. The first thing you have to do is just simply acknowledge it. You know, oftentimes when we try to hide our feelings, or we try to pretend as though something doesn't exist, or pretend as though we don't feel a certain way, then that's not allowing us to release those feelings. It's not allowing us to face the defeat or the disappointment that we experience. So the first thing we have to be able to do is just simply acknowledge it. Just take time and take a moment to say, you know what? I feel discouraged today. John let me down, or Jane didn't do what I thought that she was going to do. I didn't get the promotion that I was looking for. I didn't get the career advancement. The company closed, and I didn't get the severance package I thought I would get. Or this relationship didn't work out. I thought she was going to be into me, and she rejected me. I thought that he was going to love me, and he ended up going with someone else. So oftentimes, so many things can create defeat and create discouragement in our life. But the first thing that you have to be able to do when defeat comes your way is you have to simply acknowledge it. Don't be afraid to admit, you know what? I feel discouraged. I feel let down. You know, when you're able to release your feelings, your emotion, that gives you strength to be able to deal with it. If you keep it bottled up inside and you don't just acknowledge it and admit that something has gone wrong, it can tear you up inside, it can eat you away like a hidden cancer. So the first thing we have to do is simply be able to acknowledge that this has happened. Acknowledge the relationship that didn't work. Acknowledge the career opportunity that didn't happen. We have to be able to say, it's okay. Give yourself permission to breathe. Give yourself permission to pause and feel the hurt and feel the disappointment. So that's number one. But I'm not going to leave you there. We have to be able to do the next thing. And the next thing is we have to be able to shift our mindset and our perspective. Let me give you 3 tips for being able to shift your mindset and your perspective about defeat. And this is how you really begin to turn it from defeat into motivation. Number 1 is you have to define the meaning. You have to be able to say, hey, what does this mean to me? You know, instead of guessing in the unknown or just leaving it out there, allowing your feelings to run wild, after you've acknowledged that it has happened, the next step that you have to take is you have to create the meaning. You got to shift your focus. You got to shift your mindset. You got to shift your perspective and say, what does this mean to me? Is it really the end of the world? Is it really the end of my life? Just because I feel defeated, is it really the end? Or can I pick up and try again? You have to be able to say, wait a minute, let me put a meaning. Let me put a description to this. What does this mean to me? What does it mean to my future? So number 2 is we have to be able to create the meaning. Define what that defeat means to you. Define what has happened. Define the people that are associated to it. Define how you feel. We have to be able to define the meaning. Number 2 to shifting our perspective and our focus is simply this. We have to change the focus. Again, I talk often about this camera lens. As you see me, you're watching me through a lens that is focused on me. But if I took and adjusted this lens and blurred, you know, you could see my silhouette, but you couldn't see my eye color, or you couldn't see the color of my shirt, or you couldn't really see me clearly. And so oftentimes what happens when we become defeated, it blurs our focus. It adjusts the lens of life for us, and we can't see things as they are. So don't see things worse than they are. See them as they are. And then you can see, how can I improve it? So number 2 is we have to change the focus. Make the focus less about you. Don't focus on yourself. I feel so horrible. That was the first step. You acknowledged it, but don't stay there. You got to start saying, now, you know what? I've got to shift my focus now. I've been looking at the wrong things. I'm looking at what they are doing. I'm looking at what the company did to me. I looked at what this person did to hurt me. I looked at this didn't work out, and I didn't get the things I thought I was supposed to get, and this person didn't acknowledge me, or whatever the reason might be. You got to stop looking at the wrong things. You got to readjust the camera lens of your life and say, hey, wait a minute. I'm going to stop focusing on the bad. I'm going to start focusing on what caused me to feel defeated. And I'm going to turn this into motivation. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to grow and to turn things around. I'm not going to stay in this state of defeat, which brings on depression, which brings on sadness and puts me in a state of isolation where I can't try again. So the thing you have to do is shift your focus. The third key to be able to change your perspective and shift how you feel and how you think is you have to be able to say, now what do I do? What action do I take? Do I stay in this state? Do I allow myself to just stay in a depressed state? Stay defeated and don't feel like trying? No, I have to get up and take action. And one of the things you can do, even without taking physical action, is begin to write your goals down. Begin to write your dreams down and say, you know what? I'm not giving up. I'm going to try again because I'm not defeated. I'm not going to accept defeat. You know, defeat is not really defeat until you accept it. Don't accept defeat. You are not defeated. You can try again and give it your best. So one is you have to be able to, in changing your mindset, you have to define the meaning. Define what it means to you. Number two, you got to shift the focus. Readjust the lens and say, hey, wait a minute. I've been looking at the wrong things. I'm going to look at now the possibilities. And number three, you have to be able to do whatever it takes. You got to take action and begin to move again in the direction of the very thing that defeated you. Move into that direction and say, you know what? I'm not going to quit. It's not over yet. And those are three ways that you shift your mindset and you shift your focus. Now, the last thing I want to give you is this. You have to be able to find sources of motivation. First place starts with Adam White Speaks. Come to my site. You're already here. Watch my videos. When you feel discouraged or you're feeling defeated, find some videos, and not just mine. There's so many great people out here that can speak into your life and inspire you and uplift you when you feel discouraged. It's one of the things I do when I feel like I can't move forward. I feel like I don't want to accomplish things today. I can watch videos and things that inspire me and impassion me to do it again, to get up and try again, to realize that my life is not over. I'm breathing and I'm functioning today, so it's not over yet. I'm not going to accept defeat. I'm going to give it another try. So you have to be able to, number three, find sources of motivation. You know what? Put on your favorite music. You know, I have many songs that I listen to that puts me into a mental state where I can begin to focus and meditate. And all of a sudden, that attitude of defeat begins to leave. Because I put on the right type of music. I set up the right environment and the right atmosphere where I can begin to shift and change my mindset. So put on your favorite music that inspires you, that music that raises your standard, that music that makes you believe again. So find sources of motivation, whether it is a motivational video, whether it's playing your favorite music. And finally, here's a powerful one. Start hanging out around people that have two things: passion and progress. That's awesome. Let me say it again. Get around some people when you feel defeated. Get around some people that have passion and they are making progress. Because what's going to happen is passion and progress are contagious. They will attract, they will connect to you. And that person that is passionate and making progress is going to motivate you. It's going to inspire you. Say, hey, wait a minute. If they can do it, I can do it. If Adam can come from living in his parents' basement to owning his own business, I can do it. If Adam can come from failure and turn it into success, if he can take a defeat in his life and turn it into motivation, then so can you. You don't have to stay in that state. You can change it, you can shift it. And it starts with these powerful principles that I'm sharing with you today. So again, let's recap. Number one, acknowledge it. Don't be afraid. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be shy. Say, look, I feel defeated. I feel discouraged. Acknowledge it. Let it be. Then number two, you got to go right into a shift. As soon as defeat comes, you've acknowledged that it's happened, go right into a mental shift And the way that you shift your mindset and your perspective is say, number one, define the meaning. What does this mean to me? It's not the end. The meaning says I can try again. The next thing is I have to be able to change my focus. I got to shift things around so that I can start to look at things differently and not see the failure, but see the success that is coming. All right. Number three is I have to be able to take action. What do I do with the meaning and the focus? What action do I take? Get back to your goals. Get back to your dreams. Get back to writing things down. Don't stop trying. And then finally, number three, find sources of motivation. You know, motivation is not something that you have. It's something that you have to create. Did you hear that? Let me say it again. Motivation is not something you have. It's something that you have to create. And the way you create it is by finding sources of motivation. Come and spend time with me and watch my videos, and you'll be inspired and uplifted. Find some other motivational videos that inspire and get you moving again. Put on your favorite music. Set your environment. Get out of that state of depression and defeat and put on some music that will shift your focus. And finally, hang around people that have passion and progress. And I promise you, you will pick up passion. You will pick up progress. Hey, this is Adam White. I want to tell you that you were made for greatness. This is how you turn defeat into motivation. If you enjoy this type of speaking, I want you to come visit me at Adam White Speaks. I want you to go online and look at my Skill of Influence course. If you want to gain more influence in your life, if you want to take, after you've turned that defeat into motivation, you want to motivate others. You want to inspire them to do great things. Come and join me in my Skill of Influence course. Learn how to develop and build your skill of influence to do great things in life. Guess what? I believe in you, and I know you were made for greatness. You were made for great things. So look, until next time, this is Adam, AdamWhiteSpeaks.com. I'll see you next time.